Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Jack Congdon, who will fight on Contender Series September 2nd. Hello, Jack. How are you?
What's up, Martin? I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm good. And actually, you got probably the best opportunity for fighters on the regional scene because you are one fight away from getting to the UFC. And if you can tell me, when did you find out about this opportunity?
So we had been in talks with them since early this year, but they wanted me to get another win to get to 7-1 before getting on the show. So um, I got that win back in May, and then my coach Joe Lozon followed up with them, and then we set it into stone from there. Got the contract. I don't know what a couple weeks back, signed it. Went to Vegas last week to do some of the promo stuff, and now we're in camp mode. So very excited.
And the beginning, did you know who will be your opponent?
They had given me the name to be penciled in a little while back, but it was never set in stone until the contract came in a couple weeks ago.
And what do you think about him? Because he's, I think that overall, really good fighter. Of course, he fought many times for LFA. He fought at in lightweight division. Then he moved up to the welterweight division. So, if you can tell me, what do you think about like Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani, him, and also about his style?
Yeah, he's good. He's very, very dangerous on the ground with his jiu-jitsu, obviously, got some good credentials there. But at this level, everybody's going to be good. So it's not something that worries me or anything or takes my mind away from the prize. I've fought multiple black belts on my way up in the scene. I've got knockouts over them. I've got submissions over them. MMA is a completely different game with your striking. You got to be able to get to the ground, and then it plays out very differently with submissions, and then the gloves are a huge factor too. So yeah, I mean he's dangerous, but everybody is going to be from here on out, and I feel very good going into this fight with my skill set that I have. I'm just going to go in there um, and do the same thing that I always do, not worry too much about what my opponent does or doesn't do well. Um, yeah, I feel great about the experience that I've had, particularly in my last few fights to prepare me for this moment. So, yeah, he's a good fighter, but I'm very excited for the moment, and I know I'm going to go in there, overcome any challenges that come my way, and get that contract.
And also, I think that your like grappling can be a little bit underrated because you are definitely not just a striker. You've got a few submissions on your record, so you definitely know what to do on the ground. So it's not just a like grappler against striker fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate that, right? Like I've been doing no-gi grappling since I was a little kid as well. So, I know what to do there. Did I go and pursue gi jiu-jitsu? No, not really. Um, but again, is the game very different in MMA? Yes, right. And I've shown that I know how to catch guys in that game of MMA.
And actually, what I really like about your career, you won your first four bouts. Then you fought against Jonathan Piersma, who I think overall is also one of the best regional welterweights. And after this, you won three fights, but the fighters that you beat it were on the higher level than like few that you fought before, because like Bowen was a Contender Series vet, Ali Zabian, of course, is also like a very good regional fighter. So you showed that you can, after that loss, you can fight and beat in a really impressive fashion better fighters that you did at the beginnings stage of your career. So it was a really impressive thing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, after that fight, obviously you'd never want to lose. I hate losing. But I was able to take a lot from that fight. It was a good fight. Um, and it really still gave me confidence despite the fact that I lost, that I could go in there and I could hang with the top guys in the region, guys that were a lot more experienced in MMA and that were like right in line for getting to the next level. So yeah, after that fight, I didn't feel like I needed or wanted like an easy fight or anything like that. Like you said, we went right in there, fought a guy that was a Contender Series vet. Another one of the black belts, choked him out in the first round. Yeah, Zabian, PFL vet, Bellator vet, has wins in those companies. And then even my last opponent, Zach Davis, he's a multi-champ organization regionally, multi-champ regionally. Um, so yeah, we went and fought all good guys after that. We were only taking steps up, right? So like I lost, but I was only going to continue to develop myself as a fighter and as a person, and just keep climbing up that ladder. And so yeah, that experience just gives me a ton of confidence going into the fight.
And of course, your next fight will be the biggest fight of your career. The stakes are really high, and because of that, when you are thinking about like this moment, this fight, do you think that like maybe a few days to the fight you will feel some bigger stress than you can feel like before your normal fight?
Hard to say, but I was at the PI in the Apex last week, so I got to get a vibe from the place. Got to see the back room where the Apex is and where the fights are held. Um, so that's going to do a lot for me in terms of visualization. So I'm going to work on that a lot, put myself in that position mentally over and over and over again. So the aim is that when I get there for real on September 2nd, it's just going to be like replaying an old memory. And I've been there before in my head many, many times. Um, and at the end of the day, every fight is just a fight, right? All the other stuff is sort of like pomp and circumstance to it. It's just me and whoever's across the cage from me, and we're doing what we got to do. So a fight is a fight. Outside of that, too, Cage Titans did a great job of preparing me, and they do a great job of preparing all the other fighters on the roster for the bigger scene, right? Plymouth Memorial Hall is crazy, man. 2,000 people there. They're all right on top of you. Um, Big walkout, a ton of energy in there. So, I think my experience with Cage Titans is going to serve me very well leading up to that big moment because they do a great job. I think better than any other regional scene of making that fight feel like a huge moment. It's not just some high school auditorium or something, and there's only a couple hundred people there. It's a huge event. So, yeah, I feel great. Like I'm going to be there. There's always some stress going into a fight, but I'm going to be able to overcome it with my mind.
And for your last few fights, and before this fight, did anything in your training camp in Lakeville MMA change? Do you like add maybe something, maybe some new sparring partner, maybe some new coach, new look, or is it like the same from the like beginning of your amateur or the pro career?
Yeah. So, I'm still with Lakeville MMA, still representing them. Still working with Sensei John Mirando, doing a lot of like old school Taekwondo stuff. Still with Lowe's on MMA, still with KO Gym for my kickboxing. I've been working with Dan Savory, BJJ a lot more for my jiu-jitsu, and we're doing a lot of MMA rounds there as well. And since we last talked, for the last year, maybe a little bit more. I've been working with Chad Faria at Bristol County Barbell Club for my strength conditioning. So those couple of things have definitely really helped to take me to the next level.
And actually, in this season of the Ultimate Fighter, there is like the welterweights and flyweights. And for the welterweights, did you thought about going through the Ultimate Fighter like a few months ago? Did you ever like come across your mind?
Yeah, I applied. I got a an interview for the first round, but they didn't pick me. So just kind of said, all right, whatever. We'll shift our focus to the contender, and here we are.
Yes, and actually, I like Ultimate Fighter, but it is like a little bit old school concept. It's from like 15, 20 years ago. I think that going for the through Contender Series is, of course, better because you have just one fight. There is not making cutting weight a few times. So I think that in the end, it worked good for you.
Yeah, I agree. We were going to try to take every opportunity that we could, but like when we were mapping out the road, it was always kind of like, yeah, contender for the reasons that you just stated, is probably more ideal than the Ultimate Fighter, and here we are. Everything is coming to fruition, and it's going to work out very well.
And right now, do you have a fighter from the UFC that you really like to watch? Maybe something happened from like 2 years ago. Maybe some new face came up, and you really like this one, or even a few fighters.
Um, I've always been a fan of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Um, Pereira is probably my favorite fighter right now. Um, Tapuria right now, he wasn't so huge a couple of years ago, but he has really, some of the best boxing that we've seen in MMA and insane one punch power at 145. So I really enjoy watching him. Um, at lightweight, I really like Mauricio Rufy too. He's got a really, really cool style. So I like to watch him. He's kind of probably the under the radar guy, that I would say kind of fits that bill. That spinning hook kick that he landed on Bobby Green was crazy.
Yes, he actually got a few really good knockouts
Mm.
in the UFC. So I would agree that he's one of the maybe not like real big fans know who he is, but like for more of the casual fans, they don't know yet. But he's definitely a big talent. But for example, for Ilya, who do you think should be his next opponent?
You know, Realistically, it should be Armin Sarukian, but I don't know. I feel like they'd prefer to do him versus Patty because of all the drama they have and how big of a name Patty is. And then you have the fact that Armin pulled out, what was it, the day of his last fight. And it's just such a bad look that they might very well make him fight again before he gets another shot at the title. Um, so, yeah, that division's kind of tough, right? Because they've got so many guys that have been at the top for so long, but they've been up and down and they've been fighting each other. So it's like, I you could maybe do Gaethje too. Gaethje just fought Fiziev, right? Um, Fiziev, his situation is kind of tough because he's one of the best guys, but then he has that terrible knee injury, and then when he comes back in short notice against Gaethje, loses the fight. It's like he just beat who was it, Bahamondes, but that's not going to get you a title fight. So he's got to work up a little bit. Even a guy like we just talked about, Rufy, he's a little too far out to go and fight Tapuria. Um, I think the money fight's probably Patty. So we'll see if they do him or Saryukin.
Yes, I actually really like the Arman fight because I think that at this point he probably would be like the biggest threat to Ilya. But in the end, UFC can book a Paddy fight because it was like their situation from few years ago. They really don't like each other, so probably would be like good storyline to earn some money.
Exactly right. And Armin isn't really the biggest guy in with the casuals, um, but Patty is obviously. So yeah, I would agree.
Yes, they definitely needs UFC needs to have this kind of stars like back in the days Conor, right now Ilya. So if they can book a fight that fighters really don't like each other, like kind of grudge match, they probably will do it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And about one more fight, because in a few weeks, 1 week, there will be Dustin against Max free.
Mhm.
So if you can tell me what do you think about this fight, and who should win this fight in your opinion?
I love it. It's the perfect retirement fight for Dustin. Um, it's he's been so awesome to watch over the years. It's going to be too bad when he does retire. Um, I would have to think that he wins that one again. He won the previous two. I just think his pressure. He's going to be able to get inside on Max, and it's always tough when you've got a guy that's coming off of a bad knockout pretty recently. You saw it with Volk when he fought Islam, and then he went and fought Topuria again. I don't know how many months it's been since Topuria versus Max, but I don't think it's been even like 6 months. And to me, everything that you hear is like you got to have a minimum of 6 months of no sparring, nothing to recover from something like that. And Max is getting right back into training, and maybe it's not as bad as I thought. I love watching Max as well. I'm a fan of Max as well. But I'm gonna take Dustin in his retirement fight. But that fight's gonna be a banger.
Yes, and it's in some ways it's great that Dustin is retiring, because of course it's like the sport is quite brutal, so it's better to go a little bit faster, not to be like beaten up. But in the end, for like real fans, it's also a kind of sad moment, because when you realize that you can see this kind of legend for the last time, it's like 2 years ago it was like Robbie Lawler situation, and he also retired. So it's like mixed emotions, let's say.
Yeah, yeah. I do like that he has kind of like announced that this is going to be his last fight for those reasons. Like it really heightens the tension going into that fight.
And let's say that there is a moment after your fight, you won a fight, you get a contract, and you can go for holidays to other country, just to rest after this kind of grueling training camp. To which country would you like to travel and just forget about anything?
I really want to go to Europe, man. I visited Spain in back in 2019, and I loved it. It was beautiful. And I've always really wanted to do Italy. So I'd love to do Italy. The culture, the food, the climate. Being by the water. The way the houses are so beautiful there, and the history of it too. I'd love to go to Rome and see all the history there. So yeah, Italy would be my pick.
So it seems like the good plan after your fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where'd you say you were from?
Poland.
Poland? Okay. So, yeah, little bit further up, a little bit colder, a little bit tougher climate.
Yes, yes, but we also have a sea, so
Yeah, yeah, right. At least you're not landlocked.
yes, yes, that's right. Okay, Jack. So many thanks for the time and for conversation. I think that this fight is a really interesting one, because, of course, you are a great fighter. He's a great fighter. So I think that it will be like it actually can be a UFC fight already. But in the end, I think that it will be a really interesting clash of styles, and I hope that you will take it, and of course, you will win the contract too.
I appreciate it, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come out there September 2nd with that contract.